the end zone. He's got Simpkins, bought in for the touchdown. Deshaun Simpkins with the snag.
Looking left to Sims Marshall. Home run down for Jalen Marshall. He's got a touchdown.
Put each other in the front.
On tap is Week 8 of the 2020 football season, otherwise known as the regional quarterfinals. Tonight, it's the Battle of the Lakotas, East versus West. We're here in Westchester. Our drive to Canton begins next on Chatterbox Live. And good evening from Firebirds Stadium in Westchester Township. I'm Geoff Kim. Kyle Decker to join me in just a moment. A week ago, the top-seeded Firebirds pitched its fourth shutout of the season, defeating the 16-seed West Claremont 44-0. The state's number 2 team scored in all 3 phases of the game and held the Wolves to 35 yards from scrimmage. Meanwhile, the 8-seeded Thunderhawks avenged its Week 1 loss to Sycamore, winning 28-10 a week ago. Lakota East ran all over the Aviators, gaining 320 yards on 38 carries and 3 scores. So he's bringing in Kyle. The Firebirds were dominant in every phase of the game, as we just mentioned. However, what might have gone unnoticed was the efficiency of the passing game.
Yeah, Mitch Bolden, 7 of 8 for 120 yards with 2 touchdowns, also 10 carries for 40 yards on the ground, but their passing attack, which we haven't seen a whole lot this year, was excellent. So will that momentum carry on tonight? We'll see.
Meanwhile, Rick Haynes might not be so thrilled to see us, assuming if he's superstitious. We saw them in consecutive losses to Mason and LaSalle. Since then, Lakota East has run off 4 in a row.
4 in a row, you're right, Jeff. And he was happy to hear us from this morning. But speaking of momentum, they have a tremendous amount, and no other than leading the way as Player of the Year candidate Josh Thornhill. He's a running back, defensive back, and he's going to have to play big tonight for East to beat West.
They certainly will, and we'll tell you this, that the last time these two teams met, it was last year on October 18th. It was Week 8 of the 2019 regular season. It was right here at Firebird Stadium. West beat East 16-7. David Afari had touchdown runs of 9 and 1 to pace the Firebirds as they held the Thunderhawks to 128 total yards. Charlie Kenrich scored the lone touchdown for East. Time to bring our third man into this broadcast. Let's say hello to Patrick Geshen. Patrick.
Appreciate the warm welcome, guys. Well, I asked both head coaches before our game today, how do you win tonight? Head coach Rick Haynes for Lakota East, who hasn't made it past the second round ever in program history, told me the simple phrase, weather the storm. He said, Lakota West's going to make some big plays in this game. We have the capability of doing that too, but it's how we manage West's big plays in this game that will determine our success for tonight. Head coach Tom Bolden on the other side of the field for West gave me a much simpler answer. We just have to take care of our things on offense, take care of the ball on defense. We'll be golden tonight. Guys, back up to you.
Thank you, Patrick. And we want to tell you that before we get into anything more in gameplay, be sure to stick around tonight on the platform, the app, and on Twitter for the play of the night, brought to you by Headlines. We don't obviously have a play as of yet. Obviously, we had a lot of plays that we could have picked from a week ago last week. We saw the Jair Brown punt return that set up the first offensive touchdown. Obviously, a big player a week ago was Adrian Davis, who electrified us with a 65-yard kickoff return off the free kick, and then later had the smoke screen, went 42 yards to the house.
Yeah, Adrian Davis, wide receiver, 5'10", 180-pound senior, has really made an impact recently. 10 receptions for almost 200 yards, 4 touchdowns, also carries and totes the rock, 13 attempts for 37 yards this season as well.
The two head coaches tonight for Lakota East, it's Rick Haynes in his 9th year, 51-38. For Lakota West in his 2nd year at this school, it's Tom Bolden, 13-4. In his 14th year overall, 155-25. Those wins keep piling up, and of course it's easy when you're perfect and undefeated on the season. Yeah,
and something to note is Lakota East is undefeated under Rick Haynes in the first round. But one thing they haven't done is win in the second round. So this would be school history tonight for East to beat their rival West to go into the second round with a win, to advance, to the third round.
And as you look here on the screen on your monitor, we're waiting for the emergence of the Firebirds, the second-ranked team in the state. And here they come.
Here come the Firebirds.
And we do see Jackson Kuwatch wearing the number 33 again. They're clad obviously in the black. Obviously they were in the red uniforms a week ago. tonight in the black, and he's back to it, the number 33, and he's a guy that we have talked about for the last few weeks. He has been so imposing, being able to come down the field and make some tackles, especially for losses.
Jackson Kuwatch, outside linebacker, 6'4", 220-pound senior, 41 total tackles, with 30 of those being solos, 2 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. This guy is the player to watch, in my opinion, one of many, but is really sticking out to us the last couple of weeks as a dominant player for the Firebirds defense, which is one of the best, if not the best, in the state of Ohio.
You see the officials at the center of the field. The referee tonight is Mike Gleason. The umpire is Joe Brinkman. The linesman, Scott Barnett. The line judge, Brian Selzer. And the back judge is Mark Smith. So just mere moments away from the start of this one. The Firebirds are 6-0, 5-0 in the conference this year. They ran the table, and I can't recall a time, I don't think in their school's history, since 1997, that they've been able to run the table, quote-unquote, so far. So this is, you mentioned history in the making. Right now, they're on a historic pace.
Yeah, I mean, this is, you talk about great football in the city, or in the township of Lakota, right? You have East versus West. Both teams are really, really good teams in the greater Miami Conference. As you mentioned, Jeff, undefeated Lakota West versus 4 games in a row for Lakota East. What could be any better? They didn't get a matchup in the regular season, but they get a matchup in the second round of the playoffs to advance in a very, very important 2020 season here.
Well, it is a crosstown shootout, and if you look like on, I don't know what you use for maps, right? I tend to use an iPhone and use the map capacity there. The two schools, according to that map capacity, are 6.2 miles away from each other. That's 10 kilometers. When was the last time you ran a 10K?
It's been a while, so we won't talk about the dad bod, but nonetheless, they grew up together, right? We talked to both coaches, Rick Haynes and Tom Bolden, before, and I asked them specifically, right, Jeff? Have these kids faced off? Is there stories about the Tomahawks versus this versus, and you know what they said, a lot of these kids know each other extremely well. Some of them lived across the street from each other, so nothing more than on the line for both of these schools tonight.
So you see West clad in the black uniforms with the red trim and numerals tonight. It's the gray camouflage tops tonight and the uniforms with the black trim for visiting Lakota East. Lakota East is 4-3, as we had mentioned. They started off the year 0-3, and they have won 4 in a row. And we see the emergence of Trevor Hoffman there to kick things away. And he's at his own 40. So it will be a Lakota West possession to start things off. We're looking forward to a great one here tonight, here in Westchester Township.
Yeah, we get to see their offense, Lakota West offense, coming out featuring running back and emerging junior star, 5'10", 215-pound Cameron Good. We talked about Good being great in recent games. He has 38 carries for 257 yards and 3 touchdowns. You'll see him often and early.
So Trevor Hoffman is out there, 5'9" junior, who has been their stalwart there. A couple field goals, 20 out of 22 on extra point attempts, and we'll see if he gets an attempt tonight, because that has not been an easy thing for opposing teams of West. And away we go. A pinwheeling kick coming to the near side. Out at the 20-yard line. Return man taking it up. Nothing to gain there.
Kickoff is taking a return by
Look who, right off the bat, number 20, Josh Thornhill, coming down like a missile.
Number 20.
So, and it was Josh Thornhill taking down Adrian Davis, who had been a star of our game a week ago. And this is how we start. 1st and 10 with Mitch Bolden at quarterback, 6'2", 180 pounds, a sophomore, 42 of 88 throwing. That's just under 48%, 578 yards, 10 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, a rating of 133.6. We'll give you the starting lineups after this play. 1st and 10 officially at the 22-yard line. They fake the pass and they give up the middle for a good gain on 1st down. Trying to catch who the running back on that play was. They started Joshua Brogdon at running back tonight. Caleb Rao and Adrian Davis are the wide receivers. Champ Gillespie is the H-back. Eric Cifuentes is the tight end. And here's a 2nd down play for really nothing to gain there to bring up 3rd and short. Tegra Shabola, Ed Bolden, Connor Hudson, Cole Barella, and Lahan McCormick are on your offensive line. So already it is 3rd down. 3rd, and we'll call it 1 out at the 31-yard line. You've got Rao and Davis to the near side, and we imagine that we see in a slot to the top side. That's Trent Lloyd, who's been a favorite target, and there's a first down. We imagine real close to a first down. Let's see where they spot this.
That's going to be really close with Good on the carry there. We'll see what the refs, it looks like they're holding up the fist for the fourth down. So early, tough decision for Coach Bolden, but it looks like he's going to send out the punting team.
Well, and it's a good decision there. Real quickly on the defensive side there for East, Jordell Smith, Nate Rosario, Kevin Cornell, Bryce Bontrager, and Caden Hibbert on the front line. Harrison Buchheit and Justin Katona are the linebackers. The defensive backs, Caleb Van Hossert, Josh Thornhill, Ashton Reap, and Kyle Poppy.
Nick Raven, back deep.
So a punting situation on the 3 and out. And a fair catch called for out at the 25-yard line.
And let's take note, a 3 and out after Josh Thornhill, the star player on special teams, comes down, leadoff kickoff, 3rd and short, and they don't convert. You know how an 8 seed beats a 1 seed is just right there. Great opening drive for the Lakota East Thunderhawks.
44 yards on the punt, nothing on the return, and here comes Lakota East for their first crack on offense at their own 25 with TJ Kathman at quarterback, 6'1", a junior, 38 of 68 for 56%, 703 yards, 10 touchdowns to 2 interceptions, a rating of 185.4. He can really sling it.
Yeah, he's having a great season. Really good kid.
Motion on the line, the left tackle moved. And while we have a moment, Charlie Kenridge and Josh Thornhill are the wingbacks. Eric Davis is the fullback. Jack Hartman is the tight end. Brandon Elliott, beg your pardon, is the wide receiver. So it's on the left tackle. The offensive line, Austin Seareveld, Luca LaRubio, Bryce Bontrager, Aiden Seareveld, and Owen Opp are on the front line. And that's a hard way to start off your first play, and you don't even get it off. It's a procedure call.
Yeah, it's something you don't want to start a drive off. Maybe a little bit of nerves. The guys are excited to start cracking pads, and you saw that there early.
The quarterback keeping and now pitching. It's the Thornhill in space into the secondary, and he's got 8 on the play.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of the triple option tonight. You have the dive, the keep for the quarterback, or the pitch, and you saw it right there with the pitch to Thornhill. And Thornhill in space is going to be a tough matchup for the Firebird defense.
3-man front, Andre Profit, Anish Vyas, and Brian Henderson for Lakota West. The linebackers are Quasi Jones, Aiden Miller, Jackson Kuwach, and Cameron Vargas. The defensive backs, Out Safari, Jair Brown, Silas Walters, and Will Barber. 2nd down coming on up. And a big push by Lakota East. They have a first down.
Number 1, quarterback TJ Kathman on the
Kathman
keeper.
on the keeper. And move the chains. So early advantage right now here as far as offenses are concerned to Lakota East.
Yeah, and you're seeing last week TJ Kathman had 16 attempts for 134 yards, averaging over 8 yards a carry against Sycamore. Coach Haynes told us we're going to see a lot of TJ Kathman. He's super athletic, but he can also throw the ball. One of the best quarterbacks in the GMC this year.
As we come up on 9.5 minutes left to go here in this first quarter. No score, just getting started. They motion Thornhill to the right, and the quarterback keeping to the left. He'll take it himself and gain just a couple.
Number 1.
And was that Kuwach again?
Yeah, Kuwach early and often, and you're going to see a lot of 33 running around and flying. Also to note, in their incredible defense, you got Aiden Miller, Jones, and Vargas as well, and you're going to see a lot of those guys flowing down in the 3-4 defense that Tom Bolden and defensive coordinator Carlton Gray have been super effective, obviously with the best defense in the state.
By the way, we see Joshua Fussell at a defensive back spot for Lakota West as the running play gets a few more and will bring up 3rd and short. So you had gotten a message from Jair Brown coming on into this ball game, and while we did see him in pads, we're not seeing him out on the field right now.
Yeah, Jair said he was going to be out tonight, and there was a previous injury that occurred against Claremont West last week, or West Claremont, the Wolves, and he's out tonight to our knowledge, and that's a big miss, right, for Hollywood Brown to be out. the secondary, and just from a leadership perspective as well.
So big play here on third down, 3rd and 2. It's the wishbone behind the quarterback Athman. The give and nowhere to go. Stop up the middle.
Number 3, Jordan Smith.
That looked like big Andre Profit, nose guard, 6'3", 290 pound senior, committed to Akron, making big plays. The senior on his home turf, big 90, making an early statement for the Firebird defense.
4th down.
Profit, again, as you mentioned, a load at 290 pounds. So here's the punt coming on up. 4th and 2. Kenrich to kick it away. And they're going to clear out of this one and let this roll on down inside the 10, down to the 5, down to the 4.
Big time punt there. Big field possession, swing of possession there for Lakota East, and the Firebirds are going to have to get out of their own backyard here and try to see what they can do.
The punt was down by number 62.
So that's a big punt. I mean, we're talking 48 yards on that punt, nothing on the return. And we mentioned Kenrich's name. It's Dylan Stidham who's the punter. So with 7 minutes and 18 seconds left to go,
take over 1st and 10.
West will get another crack, but they're going to have to start in their own back end, out at the 3-yard line officially. Here's the running play for good, off left tackle, and he gets them out of danger, gains a few more yards, and gives Bolden and company a little bit more breathing room here for 2nd down.
Yeah, you could see them run behind the big left tackle committed to Ohio State, Tegra Shabola. He's 6'6", 300-plus pounds. You see him run off the left tackle, and why not? To try to get some yards to get out of your own end zone.
Number 44.
Set up on the far hash mark, 2nd, and we'll call it 8, out of the 5-yard line. Bolden calls for it, and they give up the middle, still on the move is the back, out towards the 10-yard line, and it'll bring up 3rd and short. So the quarterback keeping it here for good yards, and we'll see if they can pick up that 3rd down, and unlike what they were able to do their last time on out.
Yeah, you can see them running a couple read options right off the bat, and that's their favorite run play, where the offensive line takes some zone read steps, and Mitch Bolden is reading the defensive end as he gives or keeps. You see there he kept it.
3rd and 3, down in distance. He gets the ball. He looks left. It's a little receiver screen. Nothing going there. So they put it out there for Silas Walters at a receiver spot tonight. That was a little different, but 3 and out.
Wow, this is a defensive stance on both sides of the ball. 3 and outs, and nothing there from the Firebirds on offense, and Lakota East is going to get some really good field position here.
So that's not 10, that's 18. So beg your pardon, that's Jordan Jackson who caught a ball a week ago. That ball's on the ground, and it's a touchdown! A touchdown! Picked up out there by Caleb Van Hosser, 6-0 East.
Special teams, turnovers, defense. You cannot afford to turn the ball over, especially on special teams. Huge play by the East Thunderhawks to take the 7-0 lead here at Firebird Stadium.
Well, that's what happens when you muff the punt, and that's the first points that this team has given up. Now, mind you, it's not the defense that gave it up, but it's on special teams, but it still counts, and it's 6-0 with 5:33 to go here in quarter number 1.
And it looked like, Jeff, the punter, was right in his hands. He just mishandled it and dropped it, and then Caleb was able to get in there for the East Thunderhawks and make a big tackle in recovery to get this 6.
So here's Hoffman. Point after is good.
Extra point attempt is good.
7-0 on the muff on the punt and the recovery in the end zone by Van Hosser. The point after is good. Brand new score here in Westchester. And a little bit of a surprise. The team that's undefeated and second ranked in the state is behind 7-0.
Yeah, we had the game against Fairfield where they were down 7-0 as well. How do they respond, right? We talk about the adversity. What is the response from this Firebird offense now that's going to have to step up, right? And that's not a lot of things in this 6-0 season so far for Lakota West that they've had to come from behind. And so now we're going to get to see this tonight with the 1 seed versus the 8 seed, and the 1 at home going to have to make some plays to come back and win.
Let's send it down to Patrick right now.
Hey guys, yeah, well, just talking about this rivalry and what it means for both of the teams tonight. I asked both coaches, for the kids, what does the rivalry mean? Head coach Rick Haynes told me it's a big deal. It's big for everybody. The kids played together in their youth. They know each other. Some even live across the street from each other. Head coach Tom Bolden called this rivalry the biggest public versus public school rivalry in the area. He said it's just one.
Back deep to receive, number 5, Adrian Davis.
Thank you, Patrick.
And number 15,
5.5 to
Floyd.
play here in this one. East draws first blood. 7-0 here in this one so far. A little surprised to start off?
You know, in a rivalry game, right, we talk a lot about different rivalry games in every level of football, whether it's high school or college or even pro. Anything can happen on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, and we're seeing it here tonight in a rivalry game especially.
Here's Hoffman pinwheeling it back. Return man out of the 15, 20, 25, up the gut! Out to the 40, down to the 42-yard line. A heck of a return for your guy, Trent Lloyd, a return of 27.
Yeah, I really like this sophomore, number 15, Trent Lloyd. He's extremely football savvy, as I call it. He has the mental ability, but also has the physical ability, as you can see there. Great wide receiver that's going to have a great sophomore connection with Mitch Bolden, with him being a sophomore as well.
So he's not listed as a starter, but he does lead the team in receptions with 13 this year. First and 10 at the 43-yard line, and West off to an uncharacteristic start, 7-0 favor of East. The running back has it for good yards off left tackle. It's Cameron Good, and he had a big game a couple of weeks ago against Mason, a real true breakout game.
Yeah, where Joshua Brogdon got the start tonight. Cameron Good is going to tote the rock for the most part. Once again, I think I mentioned it earlier, but 38 carries for 257 yards. Most of those coming in, like you said, Jeff, towards the end of the season. And he also has 3 touchdowns.
Second and 6 on a gain of 4. And here comes the jet sweep. And and he comes around and he gets a first down. Lloyd again.
Lloyd might have to patent that spin move. He did it last week on the sideline for that huge touchdown against West Claremont. And you see it again. He really is effective with putting that right foot in and spinning around and getting around the defense there.
First down of the night for the Firebirds. Tight formation. And we've got movement on the line.
And Lakota East defense usually is a 50 front or an odd front, and they slant angle up front. And you can see there, typically they run a cover 1, and there might have been a cover 2.
Against Lakota West.
Again, tonight's referee is Mike Gleason, so they come back 5 yards.
Still first down.
First and 15, right at midfield. Just about 4.5 to play here in this first quarter. Off right tackle is the running back in space. Boy, he blows over a man, and a pickup of 9 for Good. Good idea.
I love it. Good is coming out early and making a big statement right there off the right side. Interesting note, something we haven't seen a lot in film was Lakota East defense was a little bit of 3-4 there. They had 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers and 2 safeties high with Thornhill. So interesting look and dynamic with a change-up on the East defense.
They'll give him 10, 2nd and 5. And again, the running back, he has the first down. Cameron Good needed 5. He's still down the field, inside the 20, down to the 15, and a flag at the end of the play.
Well, it looks like Shabola and Ed Bolden drove one of the defensive players about 30 yards down the field and pancaked him.
So that's right, because it looked like there was still progress there. We thought that Good had been stopped after about 10, and we'll see how this flag turns out. Again, tonight's head official, the referee is Mike Gleason here in this playoff game, this regional quarterfinal, as they continue to have a discussion out on the field with 3:44 on the clock. Glad to have you along for this one here on Chatterbox Live. Along with Kyle Decker, I'm Geoff Kim. Week number 8 of our football season, or week number 2 of the playoffs.
That left side of the line there, like I said, drove a defensive player almost about 20, 30 yards down the field. I think it's going to be they call it a roughing the player, or excuse me, personal foul. It's going to be 15 yards coming back the other way. I think they were thinking there, Jeff, probably excessive.
That's exactly what it is. It's excessive force or excessive play here, as far as continuation.
And you can see Shabola talking to Gleason, trying to say, hey, I'm just trying to finish the play. But I think Gleason obviously telling young Shabola, hey, man, eventually you got to stop.
So with the gain and with the subsequent penalty, they're going to call it first down back at the 47-yard line. And this is something that we saw a week ago, Kyle, in that their own penalties were what stopped them on plays. Trips to the top of your screen. And again, here's good. Another good idea. Off left tackle into the secondary. And down the seam. Cuts to the middle of the field. Down to the 20-yard line. A pickup of 27. That sure is a good idea.
He just a simple zone left run that Good's able to get to the corner. They can't keep contained, and then he cuts it back inside, and you can see Cameron Good fired up right there, throwing his fist in the air, excited to make an impact early in this first quarter for the Firebird offense. 5'10",
215 pounds, a junior. Again, has since emerged here in the last few weeks as really the feature back on this team.
Looks like Adrian Davis is walking off the field with potentially a foot injury. We'll keep you up to speed on that. That would be a big injury for the Firebirds.
We do see Champ Gillespie as a wide receiver down to our right, the bottom to our near side. It's another give to Good, and he gets a couple on that play to bring up second down.
Those that are watching the read option, let's just touch upon that. They're trying to, how important it is for Mitch Bolden to make that decision to give to Good or any of the running backs for Lakota West or to keep it. Typically, there's a defensive player, most of the times the defensive end, that's coming free, and depending on what that player does, if he turns his shoulders downhill, he'll take it and keep it, and if not, he'll give to the running back.
They're in the red zone, 2nd and 8. Good's in the backfield. He gets the ball off the left side, looking for the sideline, and gains a few on the play to bring up 3rd and short.
And someone might be wondering why, maybe Cameron Good didn't get as many carries early on in the season. Give credit to this overall depth of the backfield. You're talking about Aiden Miller, Cameron Good, Brian White, and Joshua Brogdon, a stable of backs. And I think Cameron Good just came to an emergence towards, what would be typically the middle of the season for these weeks was about week 4.
So they go big with the tight end coming back in, Eric Cifuentes.
3rd down and 4.
Big 3rd down conversion or defensive stop here.
And it's a fumble, and it's recovered by Lakota East out at the 20-yard line.
Looks like senior Jordell Smith with the big play. You're seeing their star players making huge plays. First off was with Thornhill, now with Jordell Smith, big-time play, and Van Hosser as well. What do we say every week, Jeff? Big players make big plays in big games, and we're seeing it here tonight in this rivalry game. No bigger game for these East Hawks.
Well, it looked like the quarterback, Mitch Bolden, and the running back, Cameron Good, were never comfortable in the exchange. The ball came out pretty quickly, and Jordell Smith was there to collect. 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line with 2:20 left to go. And nothing gained here. In fact, maybe a loss on that play.
Yeah, Eric Davis, he's a sophomore. Young guy, big-time talent, upcoming. A lot of sophomores that are playing in this game on both sides of the ball. Eric Davis, number 34 there, is no different. He was a guy that we saw come onto the scene earlier in the year against LaSalle and Mason as we covered those games as well.
Well, they're going to give him forward progress, so a yard, if that, here. So we melt the clock under 2 minutes here. 2nd down and 9. Brandon Elliott is the lone wideout to the near side. Quarterback half roll to the left, looking long. He wants to throw on 2nd down, and it's complete out at the 37-yard line.
There it is, the man-to-man, as we call it. TJ Kathman to Hartman, Jack Hartman, the tight end senior for Lakota East, who has 11 receptions for 233 yards, leading the way for East. And see that connection early and often there with a nice little boot out. He stepped up, Jeff, made a delivery, a crosser route. Beautiful ball by TJ.
19 yards on the pickup. 1st and 10. A surprise score here in this one so far, 7-0. It's Kathman to Davis, up the middle for 3. And he's attacking that right side of that line, or what would be the left side of the defensive line where Brian Henderson is.
Yeah, and the triple option, a few things knowledge nuggets, as I call them, it hits fast, right? Not a lot of reaction time. They run the same play different ways. Numbers advantage and angle advantage oftentimes by the way that dive, keep, or pitch can happen. Really is, if executed, everyone hits their assignment. It is hard to stop.
2nd and 8 out at the 41-yard line. Wing T look, and we got movement again out on the left side. Eric, well, beg your pardon, not Eric Davis, 39. Guess what? We don't have a 39 on my active roster. We'll get that number to you here shortly, but that was an offsides call there, or a legal procedure, if you will.
Yeah, I believe that is his second one of the game already for number 39, which on any roster, and usually we're the most, I think, prepared of anybody. There is no 39 anywhere to be seen on any roster we have up here, but we'll find out who 39 is.
Well, it's funny, right? We're looking at our own rosters that we had gotten early in the week, and then we got the ones that were generated for us prior to the ball game. Neither have a 39. 2nd and 13. Deep drop and a throw out to the right side, complete down the sideline, and coming upfield out to the 40-yard line. Charlie Kenrich, the wing back, with the last play of this first quarter. A beauty of a pass.
The 6'3" junior making a huge impact early as another key player that has played well all season long. He can run, he can catch, he can tackle as well.
And we're due for a break. We got a timeout here. End of 1 here at Lakota West. 7-0 in favor of East. This is the Drive to Canton here on Chatterbox Live. We're through 12 minutes of this one so far, and surprise, surprise, the underdog has the lead in this one. 7-0 in the Battle of the Lakotas. Along with Kyle Decker, I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us here on Chatterbox Live. It's our Drive to Canton. 7-0 in favor of Lakota East. We switched sides, and after a 20-yard gain and a first down pass to Charlie Kenrich, it's East on the go again, trying to get their second score of the night.
Can they capitalize on another turnover? We'll see here in the beginning of the second quarter.
The give up the middle, the ball came out. It's still out. It's still loose. And I think it's going to stay up front. Looked like an offensive lineman had covered it up. Aiden Searveld, the right guard, I think got on it and jumped on it to retain the possession.
Woo, man, if you're a Thunderhawk fan, you're holding your breath here watching that one. Jostled loose, simply put. I think a great defensive play to look like a hand on the ball, not a helmet, but the ball came out, and great play by Aiden to fall on it, and they're able to continue on with this drive here with 2nd and long.
Again, that wing T look. Davis is the fullback. They motion a man to the right. The quarterback pitching, and now they reverse it back the other way. And it's a loss on the play. Caleb Van Hosser came back the other way on the reverse pitch, and he's dropped for a loss.
Looks like Silas Walter staying home from the safety position, flowing downhill, and it was pretty much one-on-one. Van Hosser versus Walters, and Walters won that battle. Great play. He almost plays like a linebacker. We talked about it last week. The way he comes downhill and goes, and he's a ball hawk. Great play to see it through and stop it. Now it's 3rd and long for the Hawks.
Got a chance to talk with his folks, Dan and Jenny. In fact, Jenny is a photographer. You can find her on Twitter at Jen Walters Photo, and she does a great job, and she likes hanging around out there with Bailey Osborne, our own staff photographer. And we've got a timeout charge to the offense.
And I thought with me getting DM'd by Jair Brown, you're talking about Walter's photography. You got me going. You got to one-up me here, Mr. Kim.
Tom Bolden and Rick Haynes, by the way, have a bit of a history while we have this timeout. They were both on staff for Kerry Combs when Coleraine won the 2004 state title. That Cardinals team is on the short list of the greatest state champions of all time here in the state of Ohio. 15-0 that year. They scored 695 points. They gave up just 98. That is a differential, if you're doing the short math, of 597. Believe it or not, they only pitched 3 shutouts that year. only, I say, and they beat Canton McKinley in the state championship game 50-10. Now, think about this, right? Lakota West has pitched 4 shutouts in a shortened season this year, so that should tell you how good this defense that we're seeing tonight is for Tom Bolden. But the fact is there that team in which both Haynes and Bolden were on were as good as they possibly got. I believe 10 Division I college players came off that team. Out of the timeout, 3rd and 12. Kathman wants to throw down the sideline. It is out of bounds, out towards the sideline.
Yeah, we saw that a lot in film. Saw that against Fairfield week 1, a little bit of a scissors route. Kenrich kind of runs a wheel route, try to get a one-on-one situation with the 6'3" target there, Kenrich, and that time it just was not enough space, and it was out of bounds there for the East Hawks. Looks like they're going to have to punt here.
So intended for Kenrich, and a good job. Aiden Miller was out there in coverage. So where this ball is at the 43-yard line, no man's land, but they will punt. And it'll be Dylan Stidham for his second punt here coming up. A spinning kick short, and it takes a West bounce back the other way, back to the 31-yard line, where it's recovered there by Nathan Rosario. So really nothing on the punt. In fact, a net, believe it or not, of 12 yards.
Yeah,
Ugly.
He had such a great punt in the first quarter, and then right there it was obviously not too great of a punt there by the youngster for the East Hawks.
10:05 left to go till halftime, and West will try to get out of this hole down by 7. Not that they're worrying. In fact, you and I saw a similar game over at Fairfield a few weeks back. Bolden's in the gun. Brogdon's back there with him. He'll keep up the middle, off the sideline, and down the seam, past the 50, down to the 45-yard line. And that's the big break that I think they needed here, a gain of 23.
Yeah, in the first quarter, they had about 63 yards, so they had some effectiveness on the ground, and we're seeing it continuing here. Once again, seeing the 3-4 look from the East defense, I think they're able to exploit that up front, as we're seeing here early and often.
And they're moving out and getting back on offense quickly. It's a throw into space for Lloyd, nowhere to go, out on that sideline. Might have done good to get back to the line of scrimmage, where he was covered there and covered well by Josh Thornhill.
Yeah, Josh Thornhill, man, he can really get downhill quick. We saw that on the opening kickoff, and we see it right there with a quick smoke screen with Thornhill coming from the safety position, and he got there in the flat extremely fast.
So they're going to call it a loss of 1. Twins to the short side, the near side, the bottom of your screen. And the quarterback keeping it again, down the middle for a first down, out to the 30-yard line, a pickup of 15.
Mitch Bolden making great reads, and I'll tell you what, that mesh, even though we saw a fumble earlier, that mesh is hard to tell. Does Good have the ball, or does Mitch have the ball? And the defense, I think is having a hard time understanding where that ball is going, and there's some gaps there for Mitch and offense to exploit.
Twins to each side. They're moving quickly to the line. Bolden calls for it. He gives, or will he keep? He'll keep again up the middle. Again, another first down. Down to the 15-yard line, and they're in the red zone for the first time tonight.
Coach Bolden told us that when they're in their up-tempo offense, that's the best offense they have. He believes this team really relies on momentum and up-tempo, the speed, and that continuity really helps these guys have some effectiveness.
Ball's at the 16. Bolden giving. Brogdon for a couple of yards off the left side.
And
first man, beg your pardon, sorry about that. Justin Katona, the first man to meet him out on that side.
Yeah, well, I was going to say the Lakota East has to play players both ways, and you'll see that a lot this game with seeing those of Jordell Smith and Josh Thornhill, where West, vice versa, doesn't really have that. So that can take a toll over time with the stamina and the longevity of these plays.
Trips to the top side. Brogdon's in the backfield with Bolden. And the keep and nowhere to go for the quarterback, and they push him all the way back. I don't know if he got anything on that play.
Number 7, Mitch Bolden on the quarterback keeper.
So third down and a big one here with just about 8 minutes left to go till halftime. West, the undefeated team, the top seed in Region 4, down 7-0. We had mentioned briefly that this is no strange situation to them. We saw them down 3.5 quarters to Fairfield a few weeks back. Quarterback looking, He wants to throw on third down, and it's caught. Touchdown!
Adrian Davis, 5-4-6. Mitch Bolden throwing a strike there to Adrian Davis, AD, putting them on the board to tie up this game in the first half.
Well, a point after away. The quick strike to Davis, his 5th touchdown of the year. That is now the 11th touchdown passing for Mitch Bolden. And on the kick is Matthew Howard, 5'11", 160 pounds. He puts it up and he fires it through and ties it up at 7 with 7:41 left to go here in this first half.
That's something, if Lakota West is going to move and drive to Canton as they want to, Mitch Bolden's going to have to make throws just like that. Nice seam route there by Adrian Davis. He had the option, looked like 4 verticals. Adrian Davis was able to bend over across there, and Mitch stepped in there. He looked comfortable, great protection by the big fellas up front, and just threw a nice dart across the middle to AD.
So that's the bit of momentum that they really needed. And one thing that you mentioned here along this drive, right? You mentioned that Tom Bolden likes his team when they get to go up-tempo.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like we're going to see that early and often, almost every series, especially when they convert that first down. They're not taking that time to take a deep breath. They're keeping that press on, and you're seeing the effectiveness. As I mentioned, players on both sides of the field, you're going to get tired after a while. In Lakota West, we saw that against Fairfield. We've seen it throughout the year. Not having players go both ways to platoon is a big deal.
By the way, wind conditions are pretty much dead here at West because we saw Howard get 5 touchbacks a week ago, and guess what? He powers this one into the end zone for a touchback.
He was the player of the game, Mr. Howard was. He put, 6 through the end zone last week when we had him here, or 5? And he was the player of the game for Chatterbox and Headlines player of the game, and Mr. Howard is showing it again. He's got one of the strongest legs here in Southwest Ohio.
7:41 left to go till halftime. Brand new score, 7-all here between the top seed and the 8th seed, Lakota West and Lakota East. And, of course, as you heard Patrick mention back in the last quarter, it's really quite a grudge match. I mean, you have kids who grew up literally across the street from one another. So the give off the left side. So not much there to bring up second down.
Number 5, Charlie Kenrich.
So Kenrich on the carry for, we'll call it 1.
He was tackled by number 44.
And really the big difference in this game so far is turnovers, right? 2 turnovers by Lakota West and 2 recoveries by East, with one of them being a touchdown. So really the difference in this game so far, in my opinion, is turnovers. And so the team that makes the least amount of turnovers is going to obviously have a better chance to survive and win on the next week.
Jack Hartman's at the bottom of your screen with single coverage and a flag on the play before we got anything started as Thornhill was in motion. And again, I would imagine it's legal procedure on the offense.
Yeah, for a triple option, we talk a lot about really what Coach Haynes said. You want to be 2nd and 6, 3rd and 3. You want to be in shorter convertible downs. But to much of the triple option dismay, per se, TJ Kathman and company are able to convert some 2nd and longs, as we're seeing here, or 3rd and longs with their skill set they have.
And the quarterback wants to throw. Out to the near side, incomplete, out at the 40-yard line. Well defended there, intended there for Josh Thornhill.
Yeah, it looks like Henderson, saw TJ Kathman getting off the turf. Looks like Henderson put some pressure on him, and that wheel route by Thornhill coming out of the backfield wasn't able to be effective with the pressure up front by Lakota West. We're seeing as well here in the second quarter.
Well, and that's what you see off these wing T plays, right? Because we see Kenrich get big yards on pass plays, and that's because those running backs / wide receivers are able to be flexed out towards the edge. So 3rd and 14 and a big play here in this ball game with 6:40 left to go till halftime. The quarterback keeping it, and he will not get the first down. Well short. Just a couple yards on the play.
Actually, I like that play, Jeff. I think 3rd and 14, is a dangerous, proposition if you're trying to convert that. When you're especially 7-7, you're playing well. Sometimes it's just better off to run it and punt it, and we saw it there by Coach Haynes and company.
Stop was made by Anish Vyas, who I got a chance to talk to. He and his dad, Pat, out on Monday over at Buffalo Wings and Rings out at Beckett Ridge.
Yeah, we had Mr. Cy in the booth last week.
Cy Rose.
Cy Rose dropping off some good raps, and it's a great place to watch a game.
Short punt. Davis called for the fair catch, I believe, out at the 50. I think he was trying to deke somebody, and it's out at midfield. So a punt of 31, nothing on the return. Dylan Stidham with his 3rd punt of the night.
Speaking of Buffalo Wings and Rings.
And while we got a moment, let's send it down to our main man out on the field, Patrick.
Thanks, Jeff. Well, I had a chance to catch up with head coach Rick Haynes before the game today, and as this Lakota East team switches to defense, I asked him what was the change in the middle of the year from your guys' 0-3 start to now 4 straight wins. He said simply the kids believe. They kept holding on to the ball better, improving every week. He mentioned those close games, that week 1 loss by a field goal at Sycamore, the 7-point loss in Mason. He said the kids just never stopped trying. They finally punched through, and Lakota East trying to punch through again tonight, Jeff.
Thank you, Patrick, and good yardage there on the quarterback keeper. A gain of about 8 on the play to bring up 2nd and short. So Mitch Bolden has been the X factor here so far in this first half for Lakota West.
Yeah, and Joshua Brogdon is in there right now in the backfield. And just talk about the fresh legs once again by Lakota West. We saw Cameron Good, who already has 50 yards on the day. Now you're seeing a fresh Brogdon.
The quarterback keeping it again. He's got the first down out at the 30-yard line, and he was pinwheeled down after a gain of 8. Well, you want to talk about going from full speed to no speed. You just saw that right there.
Yeah, Mitch, super impressive all year long with his legs. He has 66 attempts coming in the night for 256 and 3 TDs. Really actually more effective as a sophomore with his legs than his arm. But obviously saw in the first quarter there, here in the first half, a great ball through the air as well.
And Cameron Good's in the backfield with the quarterback. They fake. The quarterback wants to throw. Down the middle. Touchdown! The second throw tonight for Mitch Bolden. This time he finds Trent Lloyd from 31 yards out. 13-7.
I'm going to say it for you, Jeff. Mercy. What a play. Another one, once again, exploiting the middle of the field. We saw a seam route to Adrian Davis for the first touchdown. Now we're seeing it to Mr. Lloyd for the second touchdown. Great ball once again, wide open. Looked like a missed assignment on defense, but a great ball from Bolden to Lloyd for 6.
Here's Matthew Howard. Good snap. The place to kick is away and good. 14-7. Brand new score here in Westchester Township with 4:42 left to go in this half. It's a 3-play drive that covered up 44 yards. It was a 31-yard touchdown connection to Lloyd. It's back-to-back scoring weeks for Trent Lloyd, getting his 4th touchdown of the year. Touchdown number 12 passing for Mitch Bolden.
All year long we've been challenging, or those that have been watching the Lakota West, the loyal Firebird Nation, waiting to see the passing attack. Young Mitch was 7 of 8 for 120 last week and 2 TDs, and he's already have 2 TDs through the air tonight, making big plays on offense for the Firebirds.
Well, one of the things we talked about was pass percentage, pass completion percentage, right? So Mitch had come on in about just a little under 50%, 48% on the year. However, opponents for Lakota East throughout the season have allowed 58% passing. Now, that doesn't tell you anything about yards, but that tells you about the ability to keep drives together and score down the field. And if Mitch plays up to what the Lakota East defense has given up this year, we may see a little bit more like that. So 14-7 is your score as Howard kicks it away. A deep one. It goes 8 yards deep into the end zone. Touchback, his 2nd touchback tonight. And I don't know if we have a touchback counter, but maybe we should start getting one here for Mr. Howard.
It's like at the Red games when they have strikeouts, they have the K right up out there. We might have to get a Howard touchback sign for the end zone. The over-under for how many touchbacks the youngster has. But as you said, Jeff, winning quarterback play, and you see that TJ Kathman coming out. If you have 60%, if you complete 60% or above, that's typically what you're looking for out of your quarterback. And Mitch has been below, and TJ, on the other hand, here with East, has been almost at that point.
Kathman in the wing tee. He'll keep off the left end for a couple of yards off to that right side.
Number 1, TJ
Anish Vyas out there along with Andre Profit. I mean, that is a big side of beef as far as the front three for Lakota West is concerned.
Yeah, you're looking at everybody up front in that 3-4, Profit, Vyas, and Henderson above 250, with Henderson at 2'6", all above 6 foot as well. Henderson 6'1", 260, Vyas 6'2", 260, and Profit 6'3", 290. That is a lot of beef, as you had mentioned.
By the way, Andre gets the dirty work, right? I mean, he always gets the double team right up the middle, especially in run offenses like this. And the reverse pivot, give nothing to gain there.
Jackson Kuwach, your guy. You know, he is fun to watch, but you mentioned that. How important is that nose guard in a 3-4 defense? Guys like Jackson Kuwach can scrape and come through those gaps where Profit's taking that double team, as you saw there, and Kuwach is able to come out and come downhill real quick.
By the way, how good is Andre? Andre is committed to Akron. So he'll be playing college football a year from now. 3rd and 4. They go trips to the short side, the near side. And we got a stoppage in play here with 3:19 left to go till halftime.
And something in the 3-4 against triple option you could see there. The outside linebackers, which would be Kuwach and Jones, actually come up on the line to give it a 5 front. And you see that especially in 3rd and medium, you see that as well.
So this one against the offense. As you see tonight's head official, Mike Gleason, point out. 3:19 left to go, and as much as Lakota East has owned this first quarter, back came West, and they have owned quarter number 2 so far. So we've seen a proper ebb and tide, and you would expect no less from two next-door neighbors who are only 6 miles away from one another.
Yeah, you can see we talk about penalties and turnovers. The turnovers have hurt Lakota West in this game. And you can see Rick Haynes across the field there. The penalties, how many false starts? That's at least 3 or 4 on the game so far in the first half. You go from 3rd and 4 to 3rd and 9. You know, your ability to convert on 3rd and medium versus 3rd and long is a lot more difficult. So I know Rick Haynes, you can see him be pretty animated over there, is not happy with the self-inflicted wounds per se for the East Hawks.
Thornhill's in a slot to the near side. They go trips to the near side for us. 3rd and 9. The quarterback bobbling, now throwing. It's a little middle screen. He's got the first down the sideline. Out past the 40, down to the 45-yard line. Well designed to Charlie Kenrich.
Can do Charlie, as I call him. He can really do everything. And right there, put him in the backfield and a nice little screen. They let him come in on a snap as well. TJ had to get it off. Great job to keep his composure, drop it off to Kenrich, and big play to convert on 3rd and long.
Charlie came on in with 9 receptions. That's second on the team in receptions, and he's a wingback / running back. 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Quarterback pitching it out. It's Thornhill out to midfield, looking for an angle. Silas Walters the first to meet him as he gains 7 on the play.
Great thing for TJ. They teach you as a quarterback to come right downhill. You saw him go right at Jones. That's what you're supposed to do. Someone that might be watching, why are you running right at him? That's what you're taught to do. You're taught to come downhill, make that player commit, and he was doing a good job there. And you can see Thornhill, once he got that ball on the pitch, was able to come down and get almost 8 yards.
Thornhill averaging 10.5 yards coming on into this ball game per carry. That's a big old have mercy. On 1st down, the quarterback wants to throw. Now a rush out of the pocket. Cuts back to the middle field. He has a 1st down across the 45, down to the 42-yard line. He needed a 45. He got 3 more than that.
Yeah, he looked left. It was a slant arrow. Kenrich was coming under there. There's pressure on that left side of the line. It looked like Vyas might have got in there. good composure by TJ to step up in the pocket. He got upfield and got outside and converted. That's a smart for a junior quarterback. He's just really, you can see with 10 touchdowns and 2 interceptions and a high completions percentage, he's a really effective quarterback.
1st and 10 at the 42. Lakota East is driving. They're down by 7. They're trying to tie it up before going into halftime. The quarterback wants to throw on 1st down. It's the wheel route on the far side, complete to Kenrich.
Pass was complete. From number 1, TJ Kessler,
Wow.
to number 5,
He fakes it,
Kenrich.
comes out, and throws the throwback. It was a throwback wheel route to Kenrich. They love that, and why not? You watch film week to week, you see Kenrich in a one-on-one situation, and that's what they're trying to do with that misdirection wheel route is get a one-on-one situation and have a jump ball situation, and Kenrich, who's a basketball player, goes up and gets it.
A pickup of 18 on the pass play, and what a strong arm by TJ Kathman. Near hash mark, he throws back out to the far sideline. The quarterback pitching it out. It's Thornhill in space, down the seam, and tackled there by Alex Safari.
Josh Thornhill.
Just to put it in perspective, when he throws it back like that, it's a blinded throw. It is super difficult. You got to step, turn, locate, and then position that ball for a one-on-one situation. Very tough throw by TJ, but a great ball in position for Kenrich to go up and get it.
Here, timeout on the field. 42 seconds left to go here in this one. Charge to visiting East. 2nd and 5 at the 18. Along with Kyle Decker, I'm Geoff Kim. Patrick Geshen down on the field helping us out tonight for this one. The regional quarterfinals here in Region 4. And a good old-fashioned good one. And you'd expect it by the 2 next-door neighbors. 14-7 in favor of Lakota West.
Yeah, what a great game so far. 14-7, back and forth game. And, they have an opportunity here. Let's talk about with 42 seconds, East has an opportunity here to put some points on the board. They got to come away with something, right? They got to at least, ideally, obviously a touchdown to tie the game, but going in at 14-10 is not a bad situation as well.
So they come out of the timeout, and we'll see how well the West defense can hold up. They haven't given up a touchdown, the West defense, not West as a whole team, right? The West defense since the first quarter of the Fairfield game, 3 games ago. That's strong. 2nd and 5. Kathman out of the gun. He motions Kenrich to the left. He looks for Charlie. He throws to Charlie out in space. Looking for the 1st down, has a sideline out inside the 10-yard line where Cam Vargas has them, and they're going to move quickly to the line.
Well, they got to. They have no timeouts, and Kenrich did not. Great play, but he didn't get out of bounds, so they got to get up and
they'll spike the ball with 28 seconds left to go here till halftime.
Yeah, something they had a trips left there. Jordell Smith came into the game, as those that watch or haven't. Jordell Smith's a great player, but he plays both sides, so he's not always in an offense. So they put him in there, looked like a clear route once again. Get Kenrich. The trips comes across the field, and Kenrich goes to the flat and an arrow, and he's able to position as well.
So under a half minute left to go till halftime. A really good one here over in Westchester Township. Glad to have you along here on Chatterbox Live tonight. As East gets the play that they want here on 2nd down. 2nd, and we'll call it 10. Kathman motions a man. He wants to throw on 2nd down. He steps up. He is harassed and sacked. Drop back at the 19-yard line.
No timeouts. You work on this in practice, but in game situation, it is not easy.
So Henderson got him. They'll spike the ball on 3rd down with 12 seconds left to go. So you have 4th down here. Do you kick the field goal, or do you try for the end zone?
Yeah, I think it looks like he's going to do what I would think. Roll out the kicker. They have a pretty good kicker to my knowledge here.
Trevor Hoffman. So Trevor on the season, 20 of 22 on extra points. However, 2 for 2 on field goals. However, his long this season is 28 yards. This one a bit more hefty than that, 36 yards. Out of the hold of Nick Rabin. Good snap. The kick is away. It flutters to the left. No good. That may have been partially blocked the way that it had fluttered out to the goal line. And on 4th down, West holds.
who other than Alex Afari. Get to know the name. The kid is a special talent. Came in, might have got a hand on it. Once again, bend, but don't break defense for the Firebirds. Step up and hold them to a field goal attempt and get a hand on it, I believe, there by Afari. And now they're going to go in with a 14-7 lead.
I would imagine you just take the knee here.
Yeah, I would go in with the lead and prepare, make my adjustments if I'm Coach Bolden, ready to go for the second half.
Well, Bolden's in the gun, so I don't know what you got here. That's a running play coming left. And really no gain there, and that's how this first half will come to an end. Brogdon on no gain. And at halftime, it is 14-7. And let's send it down to the field and to our main man, Patrick Geshen.
Thanks very much, Geoff.
Just a reminder, please take time to visit our concession stand
right now with another media outlet, so we will get him in just a moment.
Again, thank you for your support.
Very nice.
The Lakota Athletic Department would like to gratefully acknowledge the financial support of the
And while we see Patrick down in the field talking, we've lost the audio, and we'll hold things right here and quickly, partner, quick impression of the first 24 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great first half, exciting first half. Turnovers and penalties, as I've mentioned multiple times, but who makes the slight adjustments and creates either turnovers if you're trying to create it or doesn't, have those turnovers is going to be the biggest impact in the second half.
Again, the score 14-7 at halftime. The 1 seed leading the 8 seed. We're due for a timeout. It's halftime. We'll come back for the second half. This is the Drive to Canton here on Chatterbox Live. Hell of a matchup here in 4 games here in this regional quarterfinals. And real quickly, maybe perhaps regardless of what we have for West versus East, what do you think about the opposite game going on in the GMC tonight between Mason and Coleraine?
Yeah, we'll give everyone an update throughout the second half here on some of the scores. But, I really felt, without knowing the exact score at this moment, Coleraine over Mason. Princeton Elder, that was going to be a tough one, but definitely thought St. X would prevail as well.
All right. And with that, why don't we now send it down to our main man down on the field, to Patrick.
Head Coach Tom Bolden there at the half. We apologize for the technical difficulties. We're not able to get that interview through, but basically he told me they just have to do a better job of holding on to the ball in that second half. He said he wasn't really happy with some of the turnover trouble that they almost ran into, some of the penalties as well. He said we got to clean that up, but mostly just holding on to the ball, the big issue that they need to pay attention to in that second half, Geoff.
Thank you, Patrick. And a reminder for all of you to stick around on the platform and on the app and on Twitter for our play of the night, brought to you by Headlines. Headlines Apparel. And, of course, you see me well adorned tonight here in the Headlines Chatterbox Sports Blue. What's your choice? What's your early choice for the play of the night?
Yeah, early choice, I think, the fumble recovery. If East can come out on top, Van Hosser over that punt was huge, right, as being an underdog, getting that first opportunity to go up 7-0. Now West has come back to take the lead at 14-7, but without that play, East could be in trouble if they were down 14-0. To go back to that visual of that our viewers saw of the drive to Canton, as mentioned, it's not surprising to me, Geoff, at least, that Coleraine is up on Mason. I think Mason's a really good team, but I think Coleraine is a little bit much, as you can bring it on the screen here again. So early on, we see a really good close matchup between Elder and Princeton, as mentioned. West, our game in front of us, up 14-7, and then Coleraine, once again, up 14-0. So that Elder-Princeton game, it looks like it's going to be just like Fairfield-Elder last week was fantastic. It looks like the Princeton-Elder game is going to be no different.
Well, what was amazing in looking at that bracket, I don't know if, the people who voted on the bracket really thought about GMC versus GCL South, but on the left side of the bracket, all GMC. And on the right side of it, one team from the GMC, of course, it was the Princeton Vikings, and then 3 teams out of the GCL South. So that tells you how good the conferences are, for one, but it really tells you about for the lack of a better way to put it, party politics, right? Which side of the realm are you going to go for? Is it the GMC or the GCL South? And I think, down the stretch here, the next couple of weeks, because we'll have a regional semifinal, of course, next week, and then the week after that, we'll have a regional final to come out of Region 4. And I can't vouch for the Cleveland area or the Columbus area, but this is about as tough a region as you can find in Division 1 this year.
Yeah, Region 4 is fantastic football down here in Southwest Ohio. But to your point, Jeff, it was great to see. I saw a guy we covered who I know pretty well, Pat McLaughlin from LaSalle, throwing some GCL South banter at the GMC. I know there's much, as you said, some politics to the rankings of these teams between the GMC and the GCL. Maybe that's something the box score. Speaking of debates, maybe they can talk a little bit of the GCL versus GMC tonight. But at the end of the day, the best team moves on, right? It's like March Madness. When you look at that bracket, I love this. I think it's fantastic for high school football to watch and see these brackets come to life. And at the end of the day, the best team's going to win.
Absolutely. Just mere moments away from the start of this one. By the way, or the start of the second half anyways. By the way, Rick Haynes and Tom Bolden, we saw them on the field chatting with one another, and really probably not about football until we came along to come talk with them prior to the ball game. Of course, they had coached together in some capacity, whether as assistants or Bolden as head man, and Haynes is the OC and the head assistant for 5 years together. Haynes went off to Thomas More, coached the offensive line for 3 years, and then has since taken over 9 years ago over here at Lakota East. So we're set to get back underway here in half number 2. There you see Matthew Howard in your picture, about ready to kick things away. And away we go here in half number 2. Another end-over-end kick sailing into the end zone. Touchback number 3 tonight for Mr. Howard.
Just like clockwork for 41, Matthew Howard. Fantastic once again. And they might have to rely on that leg to kick a field goal as well. So stay tuned when the young man gets an opportunity to potentially put 3 through. He is definitely going to have that chance.
Well, you know what's amazing, right? Because if you were on the platform and watched the Elder game against, and I'm trying to remember who they played against a week ago, because the game that you and I had here, West versus West Claremont, wind conditions weren't a thing. The wind conditions over at the pit a week ago were unreal. And they give up, actually, the keeper for 5 yards. It's the quarterback coming to rest on 2nd and 5.
And some other first half statistics to look at. 49 yards on the ground for Lakota East, which is heavy on the ground, where West had 136. 10 first downs for West versus East having 7. Also to take note, total yardage, Lakota East with 143, where West had 180. Once again, the big difference, 2 turnovers for Lakota West. If they didn't have those turnovers, this margin could have been wider.
2nd down, and we'll call it 5. And the quarterback off right tackle, he got the first down. Needed the 30 for the line to gain, out to the 31. And move the chains for Lakota East, 1st and 10. TJ Kathman coming on in. Had rushed for 504 yards at 5.7 yards a pop and scored twice. He's had a long of 45 yards, so you know that he's no shrieking violet when it comes to taking the ball and coming across the line.
Yeah, not only that, as mentioned, 10 touchdowns and 2 interceptions through the air with 700-plus yards with 56% completion.
He operates out of the gun, holds on to it, comes up front, nice spin move. And he gains a few, he turns nothing into something, a gain of about 5 on the play. So 3 straight carries for the quarterback, and I think that's their recipe for success if they're going to have success here in the second half.
Man, he just turned on a dime. TJ Kathman making nothing out of something. Wow, what a run by the junior quarterback, TJ Kathman.
So they're going to call it a gain of 6. Just a minute and a half gone by here in the second half. 14-7 in favor of the Firebirds, the top seed here in Region 4. The quarterback under center on 2nd down, and the quarterback keeping to the left side. Think about pitching, he's dropped. Dropped for a loss.
Cameron Vargas says, hey, TJ, you ain't turning on a dime on this one. They bottle him up. Great team tackling there, but Cameron Vargas, number 44, leading the way.
And that penetration right up that A-gap, or what would be the A-gap for the offensive side, and it's a loss of 3 on the play. So instead of 3rd and 4 or 3rd and short, and it's now 3rd and 7, and that changes what you call here, I would imagine.
Yeah, you're going to see them come out, I would imagine, what looks like the gun, which is typically what you see Lakota East, even though they're triple option. 3rd down, as we know, they will go gun here, and trips right, as we're seeing.
Kathman wants to throw on 3rd down. Over the middle, complete! Out to the 50-yard line. Receiver takes it across midfield. John Scott with his first reception of the night.
We saw Lakota West run a lot of that vertical or a slight bender, and East comes out the same way. Have the slot go right there, and TJ Kathman just does a little catch and rock and let it rip, and great throw right there to convert a huge 3rd and long.
Gain of 19 on the play. Wing T look, and the quarterback Kathman under center. He fakes the give, now the pitch out to Thornhill. Has some room, and now there's a flag on the play. Looking for a first down down the far side. It will into the secondary, out towards the 30, but hold on a minute. So it's initially a gain of 17, but there's a flag in the offensive backfield.
Yeah, it looks like number 32, Owen Kaufman, who typically doesn't play a lot, the junior, with a late penalty, a late hit on quarterback TJ Kathman.
Holding.
Correction.
No, it's a personal foul. Okay. So we heard the public address announcer call for something else, and they're going to march forward, so it's a gain of 17 on the play and then tack on the yards on top of that.
We saw Lakota East come out of the gate really hot, right? And we're starting to see them. That's what a well-coached team does, right? When you start the game in an effective manner and also out of half, you're seeing them come out ready to go. Great job by Coach Haynes and company to have their Hawks ready to roll.
So the 15-yarder on top of this, they're going to mark the ball at the 16-yard line. So that's a 33-yard gain on the play. 1st and 10 at the 16. Quarterback to the right side. He lost the ball. It's dropped on the ground. I believe East has kept it. They will. They have kept it.
Covered by number 20, Josh Thornhill.
Just Thornhill jumped on top of it and saved disaster.
Whew, man, a lot of times they're looking to find one defender to pitch off of. That time the quarterback was taken and also the running back Thornhill. Thank goodness after both defenders jumped on TJ Kathman to strip the ball, Thornhill was able to effectively jump on it and save possession.
2nd and 10, so nothing lost on that play. They go tight on the wing T, and the quarterback on the reverse pivot, and they were wise to it. Josh Thornhill dropped for maybe perhaps a loss of 1.
Almost a little counter play there to Thornhill coming back underneath, have the left guard pulling up through to get Thornhill up the middle. But once again, great defense by that 3-4 defense. Vargas coming downhill. You obviously have Vias and Henderson and Profit ready to go. Bend but don't break. Lakota West Firebird defense. Can they stop 3rd down here for against Lakota East?
3rd and 11, and a big play of this ball game with 7:34 left to go here in this 3rd. And they come alive here in Westchester. The quarterback wants to throw on 3rd down. He'll step up. He'll run for it off the right side. Dancing out inside the 10-yard line, and we got a hold on the play.
TJ Kathman on the quarterback keeper.
Looks like Austin Sierraveld, great left tackle, sophomore, 6'5", big upside, had a basically pulled him down. He was getting beat. Looked like he just dragged him down. It looks like it's a holding play. Going to come back, and it's going to be 3rd and even longer here.
Well, one of the things that we had mentioned, or at least discussed amongst ourselves, as we take a look at the head official pointing back in the direction of East, is Mike Gleason, is that we had talked about things like self-destruction, turnovers, penalties, and how they play into winning and losing a game like this tonight.
Yeah, and think about it, Jeff. That first half, when Lakota East was in the red zone, they went all the way back, then had to kick a field goal where Afari got his hand on the ball. Same situation. They're in the red zone here, and now they're all the way back to almost the 34, 31-yard line, 30-yard line here.
3rd and 24. Trips to the near side. The quarterback to throw on 3rd down. Over the deep middle for Kenrich. It's incomplete out at the 5-yard line. In and out of his hands. He's going to be sick to death of that one.
Ooh, you don't usually see that by Can Do Charlie. Great ball once again by TJ Katham. All verticals. Ran 4 verts there. Or trips left. All verts, one-on-one situation. Once again, what they want. Safety vacates the middle. One-on-one with Kenrich. Just couldn't come up with the grab.
7 minutes to play here in this 3rd, 14-7. What do you do here on 4th and 24?
Oh, this is no man's land, right? This is why I'm in the booth and Coach Haynes is on the field. But
because you don't kick the field goal. That would be a 47-yard attempt. You go for it with trips to the near side. And we got what I would imagine is a timeout. Timeout charge to East.
Yeah, I'd almost do a quick kick, maybe because obviously the field goal kicker statistics says first half he couldn't really get it out of the box. Maybe before he got the hand on it, but he definitely didn't have near the leg whether he got there or not. And now, once again, plus minus, if they punt it here, goes in the end zone, they get the 20, so you're going to get a addition of 10 yards. This is really difficult, but how are you going to convert, fourth and that long? But if you get Charlie Kenrich, like the previous play on a one-on-one situation, or Hartman, who's 6'4", that's not a bad option either. So basically I'm saying they're all okay.
Right. So, yeah, it would be a 47-yard attempt if you brought out the field goal kicker, Trevor Hoffman. And it's really hard to punt in this situation. Now, however, as we look here, and it's a big play of this ball game on fourth down. Kathman the throw, flush from the pocket, rolling right, throwing to the middle of the field. It is incomplete. A couple of players had put hands on it, intended down there for Hartman, and it's a turnover on downs. West has held.
Ooh, I'll say it for the whole stands. I heard because it went right through Kenrich's hands, almost into Hartman's hands, and the Firebird Nation. You could hear the air being let out of the stadium in concern, but great play by TJ Kathman just to give him an opportunity. Once again, Kathman's putting the opportunity in the receiver's hands, just couldn't come up with it. Lakota West ball coming the other way.
You go for a home run here on first down. Trips to the near side. And the give into the line to the running back for a couple of yards. So the answer on that one is no. So Cameron Good for minimal yardage here on the first play of the second half for Lakota West.
Yeah, I think you'll see the effectiveness in the first half, 136 yards on the ground. I think you're going to see that early and often here in the third quarter of just the run game.
Again, trips to the near side. They'll throw out, and before they can throw out to Lloyd, we've got a false start on the offense.
Flag on the play, false start.
Second and medium. Now to second and long. Once again, self-inflicted penalties are going to prevent you from converting first downs, and that's so critical in playoff football to avoid those, as we saw in the first half. But you saw that smoke screen right there, even though it was a false start. But last week, right, against West Claremont, Lloyd went to the house in one of those.
The quarterback keeping it off the right end. He's got space into the secondary. Awfully close to where he needed to be for the first down. Dropped at the 39-yard line. A pickup of 11.
He was stopped by number 11.
Mitch is now just south of triple figures, almost 100 yards rushing on the day.
Nathan Rosario, 6'1", a junior on the stop, and first down. So Bolden again on the carry, needed one, got plenty more, and moved the chains. First and 10. Partner, do you see this as a big-time defining drive right here? Because if you go up by 3 scores with this defense, as we go twins to each side, we'll carry that thought into the next play. Bolden gives the running back off right tackle. Cameron Good. Oh, I'll tell you what. He bounced off a man, got a hard-fought yard off of that. So, partner, what do you think about this? If you get a touchdown on this drive and go up by 3 scores in this third period, how much trouble is East in at that point?
Against the best defense in the state of Ohio, in a lot of trouble. This is a defining drive. 100% for Lakota East Hawks. They have to make a stop here. Lakota West defense just doesn't let up points.
Trips to the top side. Wants to throw now, throwing to the near side. Caleb Rao got the reception. He's got the first down as well. Out to the 38-yard line. Needed 9. He got 3 more than that. A pickup of 12.
Speed, and more speed. Get it in the playmaker's hands and let him find the alleyway. Just a quick little screen there. What I call Tiger Now. The X comes right underneath. Drop it off and let him go. We talk a lot about that in our pre-game notes between you and I about how effective that speed can be.
Rao is a single to the bottom side, looking left, wants the home run. Now rolls right, throws to the right, the comebacker to Rao. Out at the 20-yard line, first and 10. A pickup of 19.
incredible play by young Mitch Bolden. Stay in the pocket, give the big guys up front. Had all time by those offensive linemen. And then Rao, sometimes the broken plays are the best plays. He was able to come back. It looked like he had a vertical, and he came back with Bolden rolling to his front side, and Bolden pointed his shoulder. Great ball.
Trips to the wide side. Bolden calls for it. And now the give to Good off left tackle. Gains some good yardage on first down.
Something they really like on just to mention here real quick is Good or the running backs often on the right-hand side. I think Mitch feels comfortable reading to his front side and running to the ball on his right arm. Something that you see constantly. If they're in the middle or to the right hash, you see Good on his right side. Lloyd is a slot to the right. And the keeper by the quarterback to the 10, to the 5, to the house! 20-7. Bolden strikes again. His first on the ground tonight. Mitch Bolden, number 746. Great run, read option right up the middle. Once again, great blocking. That adversity of being able to make that stop, the offense capitalizes, comes down, scores a touchdown to go up 21-7.
Howard on the point after Good. 21-7, a brand new score here at Lakota West. An 8-play drive that goes 70 yards. It takes 3 minutes and 16 seconds off the clock. Bolden from 15. The point after is Good. The brand new score. And let's send it downstairs right now to Patrick.
Well, Geoff, I asked head coach of Lakota West Bolden what it would like to have his son Mitch as quarterback. And Mitch, obviously, in his second year as varsity, has just 3 losses as a varsity starting quarterback in his career. He said it's absolutely great. The dynamic really helps, especially because we get to talk about football anytime we want. And I can tell you guys, when Mitch came off the field during that last touchdown, yelling at the sideline, turn me up, turn me up. The energy on this Lakota West sideline right now, height has been all game, Geoff.
Thank you, Patrick. And, of course, that was a beauty of that windmilling motion that the quarterback has. And you know what it's like to be 16 years ago and to have the world on top of your at your feet, actually, beg your pardon.
Yeah, love the turn up. That great work by Patrick down there to hear what Mitch Bolden was saying come up. Nothing better than a Friday night scoring a touchdown, coming to the sideline and putting your Firebirds up by 2 scores.
Howard again, pinwheeling. This one's in play, out at the 4-yard line. Return man out to the 15, 20, and nowhere to go in the flag at the end of the play. So Caleb Van Hosser, a pickup, a return of about 16, but let's sort out the flag.
Looked like it could have been a hand to the face there, or a penalty or face mask there by Lakota West, but.
Again, tonight's official is Mike Gleason.
Or a horse collar, looks like.
Yep.
Might have got up high. Didn't know if it was the face mask or shoulder pads, but it looks like he got almost too high. Almost looked like a clothesline from up at the booth.
So they'll tack on 15 to that. And it's good field position for the Thunderhawks. Out at their own 35-yard line. By the way, do you know what a Thunderhawk is?
You got me.
So I'll tell you a little bit more about the origin of the Thunderhawk after this play. Wing T look, the quarterback under center. Actually, they go flexing just to the left of the quarterback. And the dive play up the middle, the veer left for a couple of yards. So the Thunderhawk origin as it relates to Lakota East is a split off of the names of Lakota High School. So it was the Lakota High School had been called the Thunderbirds, beg your pardon, right? And in 97, they split off Lakota West and East. So they literally split off the mascot. So the Thunderhawks became the Thunderbirds became the Thunderhawks and the Firebirds.
I'm glad that's a tongue twister. I'm glad I didn't have to.
I got to
help
tell you,
from our friend up here in the booth. So it's always good to have friends. Oh boy!
Oh, the ball's out and it's turned over. The quarterback tried to create on the play, and it's picked up out there by Aiden Miller.
give Brian Henderson, looked like big 99, got in there and was able to force the fumble with Aiden Miller picking it up. Big-time play.
Beg your pardon, not 22, 32. Owen Kaufman. So Kaufman on the recovery.
And Kaufman's a player and a kid that we haven't seen a lot this year, and he's coming in. I know he had that penalty that was a 15-yarder, but able to scoop that up was a big-time play by the junior linebacker.
2:39 left to go, and this is about as good a field position as we've seen for the Firebirds here tonight. Out at the 34-yard line. Bolden gets a deep drop. Looking left, now looking right. To the right for Lloyd. He is in and out at the 12-yard line. Momentarily had it, came up and high-pointed it, but just out of his reach to bring up second down.
Yeah, slight roll to the left there. Turns around, pivots, turns around, makes a wheel route to Lloyd on the backside. Great ball by Mitch to give him an opportunity. We've seen a lot of those 50-50 balls, as I call it, on each side of the field from Kaufman to Kenrich, and now we see here with Mitch to Lloyd.
Trips to the near side. And the gift up, good up the gut for good yardage into the secondary, close to a first down.
You can see the battle up front, right, of the front seven on each side. Starting to see the strength of the Lakota West offensive line in the tenacity with this up-tempo offense.
And another gift for Good. He's got a first down out to the 20-yard line.
Cameron Good. He was tackled by number 65.
Saw big Tegra Shabola on the ground there. Looks like he might be a little dinged up, shaking his head, but he's back on the left-hand side there, and good to see the big fellow okay.
So after a couple carries, Good comes out, and Joshua Brogdon comes in, and he'll put himself just to the left of the quarterback. Mitch Bolden wants to know what the play is. Plenty of time on the play clock. The give to the running back, the newcomer Brogdon, for a couple of yards.
One guy we haven't seen tonight is Brian White. He's also a great back. The 5'10" senior is an opportunity as well, but he is not seen any carries tonight.
Brogdon comes out, and Good comes back in. We see the tight end coming back into this ballgame, Eric Cifuentes. So 2nd and 9 after a pickup of 1.
Second down.
And Good lines up, and now he'll flex to the right. Empty backfield for the quarterback. Rolling right. Now will keep it himself. Dances around, breaks away from a tackle, and gains a couple of yards on the play.
Mitch Bolden on the quarterback keeper.
Mitch really showing his elusiveness. 44 Katona comes downhill for Lakota East, and Mitch is able to cut it across the field, to get some yardage there, which could have been a very negative play, but in 3rd and long.
3rd and 7.
Under a minute here to finish this third quarter strong. It's going to be really key for each of the teams here tonight.
Bolden to throw on 3rd down. Quick toss to the near side, incomplete.
Looked like a miscommunication there. Looks like he thought Rao was going to run a hitch route, and Rao stayed on his route and ran there. Sometimes that's actually a read by the players. The coaches are allowed to give them, if depending where the cornerback sits, does he convert to a vertical or does he stay short? And that was a huge potential play there. That was a miscommunication between Rao and Bolden.
Ashton Reap was actually closer than Rao on that play. 4th and 7, and this will be a 36-yard attempt.
And we talked about this earlier, how Howard can impact this game, not only on kickoffs, he's going to have an opportunity here to put up 3.
Out of the hold of Silas Walters. Ed Bolden's the long snapper. Good snap. The kick is away. Pinwheeling down the middle for the score. From 36 yards out, Howard puts his name in the scoring column. His 3rd field goal of the year, and it is now 24-7.
Special teams is so critical. And Howard, that was from 36, but that could have been good from 50. Man, he is quite the weapon for Lakota West as they drive to Canton. They're going to rely on that leg to be critical, and Mr. Howard's going to have that opportunity just to do so.
Scoring drive. That one took up 7 plays. It took 2 minutes and 12 seconds off the clock, capped off by the Howard 36-yarder. And a brand new score here at Lakota West. It's 24-7.
Yeah, we're going to have to see, I think, spread full time here. Obviously, with 26 seconds left in the third quarter, we saw this against LaSalle and Mason. Lakota East and TJ Kathman has the ability to truly spread it out up tempo, and I think we're going to have to see that here if they have any opportunity to come back and win this ball game.
Howard watches this one sail to the goal line for a touchback. And if my counting is still good, I believe that's number 4 for him tonight.
Well, you know my mathematics aren't great over here as your partner, so I'm not going to – you're the statistician by all means, so I'll let you have that one.
27 seconds left to go here in this third quarter, and Lakota West has opened it up. The keeper touchdown in this quarter by Mitch Bolden, and, of course, the Howard field goal that we just saw. 10-0 here in this half so far, and it's 24-7. That's your score right now, and a timeout charge to Lakota West.
Yeah, anytime you see in a 3-4 defense the defensive linemen impacting the game the way they have, that's not a good sign if you're Lakota East. So to see those big three up front making those plays, you know it's going to be a good night on defense.
West coming on in, averaging about 28 points a ball game, but they came in also averaging just under 3.5 points given up per ball game. Their point differential, 25 a contest. So East comes in. You would think they were the better scoring team, but they're just a little bit behind Lakota West at 26.5 a ball game. They've given up 24 points a ball game, so right now their point differential coming into this contest was just under 3. And I think that we're starting to understand why we've got that wide differential, especially for Lakota West, because that defense is just that good.
Yeah, and think about it. They've let up 0 tonight. That was on special teams, right? So the one touchdown wasn't even on the defense.
Captain wants a throw on first down, incomplete. Intended for Kenrich, who's really shown up big in this game as a wing-back / receiver.
How about
second down?
Kaufman in there again. Sorry, Jeff. The Kaufman, the linebacker, the junior, once again, we're calling his name a lot tonight, number 32, in with the pressure on Kathman.
2nd and 10. Well, and this is something that we kind of wondered if we would see if the game would get into this situation, if the passing game would be a little bit more prevalent for Lakota East. We saw that in the Mason game back in week 2. 2nd and 10. Tight wing T, they motion Kenrich to the right. The quarterback wanting to throw, in trouble, and dropped. He was able to spin his way back towards the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Kuwach coming in. Jackson Kuwach, number 33, as we mentioned. There was a lot of guys in on the play, and he was one of them. Coming free on the outside.
And that's the end of 3 periods here at Lakota West. And the 1 seed has a dominating lead, 24-7 over Lakota East. This is the Drive to Canton here on Chatterbox Live. One more quarter to go here in this regional quarterfinal, 24-7 in favor of Lakota West. Along with Kyle Decker, I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us. It's the Drive to Canton here on Chatterbox Live. We switch sides of the field, and 3rd and 6 coming on up. And this is do or die time right now for the Thunderhawks.
Yeah, it's every drive. They might have 3 possessions left, and they're going to have to score in each one.
Kathman to throw. He's dropped! Cam Vargas!
44, Cameron Vargas along there with Kuwach and company, making a statement. And, man, are they playing ball tonight on defense once again.
That's a loss of 9 on the play with 11:38 left to go.
Yeah, and Vargas on the night has 7 tackles coming in, so that would make it 8, with Walters also with 7 tackles. So those key linchpins, and a lot of times we talk about Afari and Jair Brown, who's out tonight, but Vargas and Walters doing a great job.
And let's see if they come after Stidham. Alex Afari coming off, and he thought he was going to get another block on a kick, and a fair catch called for out at the 43-yard line.
How about coming
and
into
it's, beg your pardon, Adrian Davis.
Yeah, sorry, partner. The Mitch Bolden was about to say 12 attempts for 116 yards, almost 10 yards a carry coming into this fourth quarter. Also 6 of 8 through the air for 74 yards and those 2 touchdowns, primarily in the first half. So 200 yards of offense on the ground for Lakota West, winning the battle up front, as we talked about, both offense and defensively, which dictates obviously the 24-7 score.
1st and 10 at the Thunderhawk 42-yard line with 11:14 left to go. Bolden calls for it, and it's good. Up the gut, off the left side. Had initial momentum and got pushed back after a gain of 3.
He was tackled by number 65, Bryce Bonetrager.
2nd and 7.
Gain on the carry.
And we'll see if we can get the exclamation point on this drive. They go tight on the line. Twins to the near side. And the quarterback keeping it. Some indecision on the exchange as he falls forward out to the 35-yard line, and a big push off that left side for a gain of 4.
Number 7, Mitch Bolden on the quarterback keeper.
Looks like Thornhill came flying down and almost flipped over Bolden. Bolden looked like he was on the ground. The ball did come out, but they ruled him down on the field. 3rd and medium. 3rd down and 3 for Lakota West.
Well, and Thornhill's been a turnover machine as far as a defensive player this season. A league-leading 4 interceptions.
Yeah, and tonight, Jeff, he has 6 tackles. And Katona, number 44, who's a tackling machine, has 10 on tonight as well.
Down in distance. It's 3rd and 3 and a timeout. So, again, the winner of this one tonight will take on the winner of the 4-5 game between Mason and Coleraine.
You're going to have some score updates here. Colerane's up still 14-7 on Mason. I know going to the half that was 14-0, so Mason cutting it closer there. Elder is now up 24-14 in the 3rd on Princeton. As you can see here with the bracket, and as soon as I can get an update on Exon Moeller, I'll try to provide that as well. But as mentioned, Coleraine is up, West is here, and Elder, 3 of the 4 teams right here in front of us.
So if West goes on to win this game, they will host next week the winner of that 4-5 game between Mason and Coleraine. 24-7 here in this one, and I did want to make mention of this. How good has this Lakota West defense been? Well, it's been since the first quarter of the Fairfield game, since they've given up a defensive touchdown. That's 14 quarters ago. Can you even think back to 14 quarters ago? I'm having a hard time thinking about what happened 3.5 weeks ago.
The only thing I think of is running up the Fairfield steps because we did that game and I was winded. That's how long ago. And it was hot then. It's colder tonight, but Jaden Hayes, right, the speedster, was able to take it to the house that night that we called that game.
Down in distance, 3rd and 3. And the give off the left side. Good into the clear. He's gone! 30-7 on the 35-yarder for Cameron Good. Good idea.
Number 25, Cameron Good on the touchdown run for the Firebirds.
Good to great. Making it happen down the sideline. How about that? Tiptoeing on the sideline all the way to the house. Great blocking once again behind big Tegra Shabola. Just an outside zone read. The offensive lineman just taking a step to the left, sealing the outside. Great stock block by the wide receiver, and off Good goes.
Howard for the point after, and good. That's your exclamation point. 31-7, the route is on.
With number 10, Silas Waters holding.
3-play drive. Go ahead, partner.
No, I just wanted to say I think it's really important. What makes good great, right? Or what makes a good a great idea? It is really his point of contact in the yards after. That yak, right? Those yards after, what they call yards after catch, but this is yards after he gets hit. And that is the difference between him and any other back, in my opinion, outside of few others that are in this league, which there's a lot of great running backs. But his point after contact is incredible as much yards he gets after that hit.
3-play drive. It covered 42 yards. The big run for Cameron Good, his 4th touchdown of the year. Point after's good as well. And it took a minute and a half off the board. New score here in Westchester Township, 31-7.
And if I do my math correct, that's going to give them right around 250 yards. So they're on the borderline of having 300 yards plus rushing potentially after this fourth quarter, which I would never have guesstimated Lakota East would have allowed that much yardage. But give credit to that West offense. They're really moving the ball on the ground tonight.
Touchback number 5 tonight.
And you know what loosens up that defense? How about those two touchdowns in the first half, right? That you have to respect now. When you have to respect Mitch Bolden in the air attack, that opens up the run game even more. And I really think that effectiveness through the air of just some of I think he's about 5 of 7 on the day, something of that sort, is willing, has to respect that pass, which now has opened up the run.
So right now, barring something miraculous for Lakota East, Lakota West is moving on to the regional semifinals a week from tonight. They'll host the game right here against the winner of the 4-5 matchup between Mason and Coleraine.
And now Colerane's up 21-7, so we have Bolden versus Coleraine 2.0.
Dive play up the middle for minimal yards. Well, and what a game that was in week number 1. It was a game that the Firebirds won 10-0. They pitched their first shutout of the year in that game. Aiden Miller scored the lone touchdown in that game. We've not seen him on offense in the games that we've seen him in the last month.
Yeah, you talk about guys not going both ways with the step up of Cameron Good and Joshua Brogdon and even Brian White, who's not getting a whole lot of time tonight. It makes it easy to put Aiden Miller focused on defense.
And the quarterback winding to throwing to the right side, and it is caught out at the 40-yard line. A really nice high point grab for John Scott.
Pass was complete from quarterback TJ Kathman to number 19, John Scott.
Great rollout to the right, position ball. Once again, TJ Kathman has a bright future here for Lakota East. I'm really impressed with this young man. His poise in the pocket. He is a dual threat, but he has a great ability to be more of a pro-style quarterback as well with his length and athleticism.
They empty out the backfield for Kathman. He'll throw on first down, and it goes to the running back out of the backfield. Now cuts back to the field, out to the 40-yard line, Jordell Smith on a pickup of 20. So back-to-back chunk plays for Lakota East, and they're trying to score and make it a little closer here in the fourth.
And that's a guy that I really, really like, Jordell Smith. I think he has not, as we mentioned in our conversation with Coach Haynes, not been really offered by outside of a couple FCS. I know Sean Spurlock, who does a lot of our production, was talking pregame with me how great of a player Jordell Smith is. And I think looking back, not getting him maybe as much touches is not going to position them as much of a chance to win. But Jordell Smith's a great player.
And we got a timeout on the field. 8:33 left to go here in this ballgame. 31-7. As Lakota West aims to improve its record to 7-0.
Making a statement that they're the number 2 team, if not the 1 team in this state.
And I haven't looked at the latest rankings, right? And I know that if you look at what should be the Harbine points or whatever else, that, rating systems like St. X in Region 4 are better than they do Lakota West. You and I have seen Lakota West now for our 4th game. I don't see how St. X can be any better than this team that we're watching.
Yeah, I think potentially if that matchup does happen, it'll be a great game, which will be 2 great teams facing off.
Trips to the top side. Quarterback winding the throw, in trouble, throwing to the left side, and it is incomplete and flags everywhere out at the 15.
Yeah, they're going to call Jackson Kuwach not getting his head around, so kind of face guarding, not allowing. They're called pass interference, but not allowing that wide receiver to come back and get that ball.
Pass interference called on Lakota West.
Also, Princeton cuts it within 3. Elder 24, Princeton 21. Also to take note, Coach Combs, who has a relationship here at both, he said send a message from Ohio State football and Coach Combs how proud he is of both of his former coaches. So I think that's a cool thing to mention.
Well,
as well.
if Coach Combs is watching, thank you very much. As somebody who loves those Ohio State Buckeyes, thank you very much.
Great man.
We see Davis in the backfield behind the quarterback, and the dive play to Davis as he's pushing the pile, as he comes to rest 4 yards away from the line of scrimmage.
He was tackled by number 98, Anish Baez.
So Anish Vyas picks up the tackle. So we come up on 8 minutes left to go here in this one.
3-yard gain on the carry.
Yeah, you can see a lot of the West players upset, and Coach Bolden, it looked like there was maybe a late hit on East, and you can see a lot of this rivalry and chippiness come out towards the end of this game. Something for both teams and the referees to understand the emotions, right, that come into a rivalry when it comes down to the fourth quarter here with less than 8 minutes to go.
They empty out the backfield for Kathman, throwing left. It's complete to Kenrich, and a nice tackle out there. Will Barber in the tackle book tonight.
He was tackled by number 13, William Barber.
And it was fun to spend. You see both coaches getting pretty animated. Obviously, they knew each other. They spent a lot of time pregame together, and we were fortunate enough to spend that time together with them. And once again, that relationship they had at Coleraine High School under Coach Combs. And you talk about the 2004 team. Braden, my old roommate, was on that team. How much talent there was there and how much they learned from each other. But now they're battling here for the Battle of Lakota.
The deep back is Charlie Kenrich. And they give to the up back for a couple yards, Eric Davis.
The handoff went to number 34.
And by the way, just as an aside, because we're at that time of game and this is the way this game has gone, you got to love a guy with the name of Eric Davis playing in the city of Cincinnati. Correct?
You remember when I threw that out and the first time he got his carry. And I'm not the Reds historian like our man in charge here, Trace Fowler. But I know a little bit of ED, right? He's quite the player, just like this young Eric Davis here tonight. He has a bright future. That's something that's for certain for 34 for the East Hawks.
1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Trips to the near side. Kathman to throw. Flushed out of the pocket. Now rolling back the other way. Directing traffic. Throwing deep middle. It is caught. No, yes, it is caught. Touchdown.
Touchdown. Lakota East.
So a late call on that one.
Pass was complete.
Wow, what a play.
Kathman to number 14, Jack Hartman.
It's the Jack Hartman, his 6th touchdown of the year. It's 31-13. So some improvisation in the pocket as the quarterback Kathman had to go back to his left and then found Hartman all by himself in the middle part of the end zone for the score.
Yeah, took a shot too. I mean, Hartman, great catch by Hartman, and Kathman took that man-to-man, as we talked about, connection there, took a huge hit.
Point after is good. Let's send it downstairs to Patrick.
Extra point attempt is good.
Hey guys, well, catching up with Rick Haynes here earlier in the week before the game, I asked him, because he's coached a lot of teams, what stuck out about this
And our score now stands. Lakota West
sideline for the Cody's staff game and program history. He said about this team, the big word is determination. Whatever the challenge, they put in the effort, they make it happen, they do it with pride. He said they always do what we ask them to do. He said this has been a special group to coach, one to remember in all of his years of coaching. Jeff?
Thanks, Patrick. 6:14 left to go. Point after is good. And that's the first touchdown in 15 quarters that the defense for Lakota West has given up. Can you believe that?
Yeah, as I mentioned, Jaden Hayes for Fairfield took that one in, the first quarter, 15 quarters ago. Give the Thunderhawks credit there for not giving up in a 31-7 game, continuing to play there. And great play by Hartman to come down with that grab from Kathman. And, you never know, right? You're down 17 points with 6 minutes to go. Crazier things have happened. I would look for an onside kick here, and the hands team looks like they're out for Lakota West, and rightfully so.
And guess who the deep back is?
Mitch Bolden.
Mitch Bolden on the kickoff team.
I used to be on the hands team. That was like my favorite thing. I don't know why, but when you're a quarterback and you get a chance. But I was up where he's way back. He's the protection guy. I was up trying to make the grab.
Out of the muddle huddle, and it is taken up front out at the 47-yard line. Looks like Adrian Davis, AD, with the special teams play.
Yeah, speaking of baseball, right, Adrian Davis is quite the baseball player. He was able to field that like a ground ball and fall on it and did what exactly coaches. You catch it and you get down.
Kickoff is taken by number 5.
So Davis recovers. By the way, we didn't get a chance to mention, so we will. The last drive, 7 plays, 80 yards. It took 3 minutes and 29 seconds off the clock. The touchdown pass from T.J. Kathman, his 11th of the year, and he found Hartman for his 6th.
And a few scoring updates here as well. Colerane's 21, Mason 7, and Elders now 26-21.
And the end around coming, the jet sweep, and the runner coming up front, and maybe a gain of 1 for Adrian Davis, and we've got a flag on the play as well. Adrian kind of stumbled on his way to get towards the quarterback, and it looks like it's going to be against visiting Lakota East.
It looks like a face mask there on Lakota East. And speaking of scores, if those that are part of the Chatterbox family, which we appreciate you guys every week, if you're wondering why we might be not at some of the other sites, it's Spectrum has those sites, so we can't be everywhere due to that. But we're glad to be here at Lakota West, and hopefully moving forward we're going to do as many games as possible.
Well, it's our feature game, and I'd argue, honestly, coming on in, because it was Lakota West versus Lakota East, that this was the true feature game in Region 4 tonight.
Yeah, it's where we wanted to be, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So still looking to sort this one out. A lot of standing around by both teams. And the way you mentioned about the Coleraine score, again, this would be a rematch next week of the Week 1 matchup that saw the end of the long winning streak that Coleraine had over the GMC for all those years, all through the Bolden era. And then, of course, Bolden comes here, and he's the one to torch them for the loss.
Yeah, that was quite the Week 1 story, right? If you look back, it's hard to believe how fast this season, at least for me, has gone. But that was a huge game. Almost Ohio news and almost national news. 80-plus games in one of the best public conferences in the state of Ohio, if not the best, was broken that night.
So they're going to call it 1st and 4 on the penalty, and the gift to Good. He's got the first down deep into the secondary, out to the 35-yard line, a pickup of 11. Good idea.
That's going to give Good potentially close to 100 yards as well. So that gives them 2 rushers over 100 yards with Bolden and then Good. And as mentioned, they got to be knock on the doorstep of 300 if they're not already there. So let's give that offensive line credit as well. Those guys up front, the big hogs as I call them, are doing a great job of moving those guys on the defensive line.
Twins to each side. Bolden taking his time. 10 on the play clock. I mean, he's a statue right now. Now he calls for it, and now we've got a stoppage and a false start.
Yeah, the right tackle there, number 73, Lahan McCormiss, the right tackle, the junior, big fella, 6'3", 270, was a little bit out of the gate. He was actually, they were pulling him. Interesting enough, they were pulling the right tackle to push out the defensive end, and he was trying to get a head start.
Well, you want to get another home run, I guess, right? With about 5 minutes left to go in this one. 1st and 15 out of the 40-yard line. So we thought we had called the exclamation point a handful of minutes ago, and we'll see if they got one more drive here. The give, off right tackle, it goes to Good. He's got some room. He's got 5, he's got 10, out to the sideline. Boy, that is some hard running for Cameron Good.
Once again, the point of not conflict, but the point of the attack where they're meeting that defender. Once again, he bounces off. He is such, if you see him on the field, those that, the TV does not do it justice of how, powerful, how thick he is, and he's able to get that upper body low, and then he also stiff arms too. So it's not a fun guy to tackle if you don't get low on him.
Pickup of 12. They bring back Gillespie and Cifuentes into the lineup. Bolden. Again, the give to the running back, stretching it out for the first down for Good.
Handoff went to number 25.
Another zone left. And those when you wonder what is zone, well, it's the offensive line when you're going to the left. It's basically a quick step, and usually it's a direct man, right? It's man on man, so they're usually grabbing there. They're not skipping, pulling, or they're not trapping anybody. They're not coming across. It's just a straight man on man, and they're able to get a lot of yards there and be effective.
They're going to say he's short, so it's 3rd and short. They're going to call it 3rd and 1. Out at the 26-yard line as we melt the clock under 4 minutes. Another running play. And the give to Good. Off the right side on the little slight counter, and he should have the first down. Needed one, got all of that one to move the chains.
How about that? Skip trace pull by Tegra Shabola coming from the left to clean up the right. That's big, great footwork, nimble feet for the big fella.
How would you like to have that in your grill? Tegra is 6'6" and 315 pounds. Mercy. So a gain of 2 on the last play, 1st and 10 at the 24. Let's see if they go for the home run here in the exclamation point. The give to Brogdon up the middle, pushing the pile for 3 yards. Out to the middle of the field where Bryce Bontrager was. So we'll bring up 2nd down, and they're going to melt the clock as much as possible now.
Yeah, and guys that got back, they're going to have their right and left tackle back next year. McCormick and Shabola. I mean, the future is bright. A lot of these guys will be returning back on the offensive side of the ball with Cameron Good, Mitch Bolden, Lloyd, many more. But the future is not only bright this year to make a run, also in the future.
Twins to each side. Brogdon stays in the backfield with the quarterback, Mitch Bolden. And the counter, it goes to Brogdon. He's pushing the pile up for good yards off that right side to bring up 3rd and short.
And it looks like it's going to be officially Bolden 2.0 against Coleraine, up now 28-7. So,
whoa.
I think with this game in control here with 2 minutes to go, obviously up 17, and now with Coleraine up 21, it's going to be Lakota West versus Coleraine to come out of go to the Region 4 finals.
31-14 here in Westchester Township. 3rd and 2 out of the 15-yard line. Cameron Good back in, bounces off a man, pushes for it. He should have the first down.
Number 25, Cameron Good.
And that will about do it for Lakota West. Potentially a few knee downs, and that should do it. Hopefully Cameron Good is now on the ground here, having to get helped up by Caleb Rao. Hopefully, looks like he's going to be okay. They're going to bring him out of the game now.
1st and 10, Firebirds.
So Good comes out. Brogdon's back in. They've run that rotation at running back pretty well tonight. Lloyd is lined up as a slot to the left. Brogdon to the left of the quarterback, Bolden. And the give, Brogdon up the gut. And momentarily had some speed off the left side and comes to rest out at the 11-yard line, a gain of 2.
Brogdon, the ball carrier. Tackled by number 33, Harrison Buhite.
We expect to hear Tom Bolden in our post-game coming on up as we melt the clock down to a minute. Second down and 8. And again, we see the big package coming back in, the starting H-back Champ Gillespie, the starting tight end, Eric Cifuentes. And for really no reason, because they're going to the victory formation on 2nd and 8.
Ball's down by number 7, Mitch Bolden.
So we're looking for the play clock. I don't think they'll have to run another play. We're looking here as they'll come to the sideline and improve their record to 7-0. 31-14 winners tonight over Lakota East. The Thunderhawks end their season at 4-4. What a finish, especially after the first quarter, in which East had a 7-0 lead. Back came West resilient, and the defense locked it down for 3 more quarters.
How you respond, right, Jeff? And that what they did for the Firebirds right after 2 turnovers in that first quarter, able to respond back in an incredible fashion to rattle off 31 points to come up on top 31-14 here at Firebird Stadium.
Waiting to see our main man, Patrick Geshen, down on the field. But again, next week it will be this team against likely Coleraine in a rematch of week number 1 of this season. And an appropriate matchup between Tom Bolden and his former school that he had gained so much fame with here in this part of Cincinnati. 31-14, again, the winner here tonight. And while we got a moment here, let's quickly get to your headlines play of the night.
Yeah, I think that the headlines play of the night goes to, I'm going to give it to Mitch Bolden to Trent Lloyd across the middle. He was able to hit that seam route for a touchdown through the air, which then loosened it up on the ground as well. So I think that play of the game goes to that aerial attack that get that first score, I think was really crucial in this game.
And also, while we still have a moment, how about your star of the game tonight? A lot to pick from. Initially, I thought it was going to be Mitch Bolden, and then the running game kind of took on over here in the second half. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think, I'm going to give it to, what do you say, good idea, right? Cameron Good, or I say good to great. I'm going to give it to Cameron Good. He had, the final stats haven't came out, but I would about right around 150-plus yards, and really effective game tonight for Cameron Good.
And let's send it down to Patrick.
Well, okay, some adversity at the beginning, some bad mistake.
And unfortunately, we can't get it, the audio here, so that'll put a wrapper on this one here. Partner, your final thoughts on this one as we put this one to bed here in this 7th week, or this 8th week, beg your pardon, of football.
Yeah, the defense for the Firebirds only let up a touchdown tonight, and they continue business-like, right, to move through this bracket as the 1 seed. Should, but, at times, upsets can happen. But Lakota West Firebirds, giving credit to Coach Tom Bolden and company to move on through the bracket and now get to face his old school in Coleraine.
Partner, this was a fun one tonight. Can't wait to do it again next week right here.
Let's do it.
And again, the final in this one, 31-14, the winner here tonight as Lakota West improves to 7-0. Lakota East falls to a record of 4-4 and ends their playoff run. Be sure to stick around after the game for the box score as Reed, Sean, and Trace will rip around the region and get you up to date on all of tonight's action. That's right here on ChatterboxSports.com, on the Chatterbox Sports app, and on Twitter. Again, the final tonight, 31-14. Lakota West the winner here in this one. For Kyle Decker, for Patrick Gesham, and our entire Chatterbox Sports crew, I'm Geoff Kim. We bid you good night for Westchester Township.